Hey my friends, welcome back to another episode of the Euro Cooking Canuck. Guys, you know I really appreciate when you spend a part of your day with me, so thank you, and I hope you're doing really well. Guys, on today's segment of Memories of Macedonia, I want to share with you quite an old recipe. Now there are many variations on this recipe, and we'll touch on that a little bit later. I've had this several times when I've been in Macedonia, and it's one of my favorites. It's simple, but it's just such a good recipe. Guys, what we're making today is called Zelka Supa. Basically, it's a cabbage soup. Now, before you get all wrinkly-nosed, try this recipe. It is not only very tasty, but it's actually very, very good for you. So guys, without further ado, let's get in the kitchen and make Macedonian-style cabbage soup. Guys, welcome to the kitchen countertop. Guys, all of the ingredients and the amounts I'm using will be below in the description bar. Click show more. Again, you can cut this recipe in half, double it, triple it. You get the idea. Guys, you're obviously going to need a cabbage. This is a cabbage soup after all. So I'm just going to take this one layer off. The size of the cabbage you use, again, it's all up to you and how many people you're serving. So this is a pretty good sized head cabbage, but if you're feeding the crowd, you may want to get a large head or use two. Just going to go around the cabbage like so, and what you want to do is take out that core. Like so, and then split this down the middle carefully. And what you're going to want to do is cut your cabbage into somewhat thin strips. It does shrink, like so, and if you want, you can even cut that in the middle. Any harder pieces, cut up. Okay? So continue with the rest of your cabbage in the same fashion. Now I also have here one yellow cooking onion. Not being fancy with it, guys. A rough dice is what we're looking for. You guys have seen people cut onions before. Okay, good enough. I got here a couple of carrots. Now, what you want to do with the carrots is to cut them in somewhat smallish pieces. So if you cut the carrot in half, and then just make small slices. You're looking for pieces about yay big. If they're too big, cut them in half. Okay? Again, I will continue with the carrot. I also have here some peppers. With the peppers, if they're hot, you might want to remove the seeds. I'm just going to cut them right out. These are mild, guys. And just chop up the peppers into small pieces as well. Guys, the peppers are optional. You don't have to add them if you don't want them in there. So I'm going to continue chopping up our vegetables, and I'll show you what I do next. Okay guys, I've chopped up all of our cabbage. I have on this plate our carrots, onions, and peppers. Okay, so in my pot I have some olive oil, which I'm starting to heat. First thing we're going to do is we're going to put the peppers, carrots, and onions in the pan with the olive oil, and we'll start sauteing them. Alright guys, we're at the stove. So I have my olive oil heating up here. I've tested an onion, it seemed to sizzle. So go ahead and add all your veggies in. At this point, I'm just going to give it some cracked black pepper. To your taste, guys. I'm going to give it just a little bit of Vegeta to start. Couple of teaspoons. Going to give this a stir. And we're just going to wait until the onions and peppers start getting a bit more soft. Alright guys, my onions are starting to get soft. I can smell them. I can smell the peppers. So at this point, I can go ahead and start carefully adding my cabbage. It looks like a lot, guys, but it will shrink down. So I'll continue adding this, and I'll show you what I do with it then when it's all in. So guys, once your cabbage is all in the pot, start moving it around gently, and it will start wilting and going down immediately. Get the heat distributed through there. I could have used a bigger pot, but I didn't. Doesn't matter, guys. Doesn't matter. The recipe is what matters. Okay, so once you've moved it around a bit, you can see it's already starting to go down. There you go. And you can start smelling the cabbage cooking. You don't want to burn it, so keep moving it. Now as you can see, it's going further down and further down. So what starts out like a lot, guys, really does shrink. It's like spinach. You use 45 pounds of spinach, you end up with a cup. You know what I'm saying? Alright. I can see things are moving around nicely in here now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, at this point, top this up with water. This was warm water. I want to make sure it's right full. So if you need to add more water, which I think I will, we'll add more water. And then I'll show you what I do next. Alright guys, my pot is full. And again, I will put the amounts that I'm using below. In total, there's probably about 3 liters or so of water in here. Now, we've added Vegeta, which is, it can be salty. You can probably find Vegeta where you live. We've spoken about it before. If not, you can use a vegetable seasoning with some salt, maybe Mrs. Dash with some salt. But try and look for Vegeta. I'm sure you'll be able to find it. At this point, I want to go ahead now and season the cabbage in the broth. So I'm going to add a little bit more Vegeta with a low sodium or a no sodium vegetable bouillon cube. Guys, if you're using the Vegeta, as I said, it's salty. So you might want to hold back on your vegetable cube if it has added salt. Taste it and then add it if you need it. But they're going to go in. And you can adjust your seasonings later. We're going to taste this if you need more pepper. And we're still going to add a few more things to the soup. So at this point, guys, all that's left to do is to keep an eye on it. We're going to bring this to a boil. Once it comes to a boil, I'm going to turn the heat down to low. And I'm going to let this simmer. At that point is when I'll bring you all back. Okay, guys. Our cabbage stew has been simmering away for a while. If you need to add more liquid as it reduces, do so. Just adjust your seasoning. You may need to add some more salt, which I did. I tasted it. Or maybe some Vegeta, black pepper. Okay, at this point, I'm gonna set this aside. At home you'd use another burner obviously, but I'm showing you guys. I have a little pan or a pot here, to which I'm going to add some oil. Turn up my heat a bit. To my oil I'm going to add a little bit of flour and just a little bit of paprika. And give this a quick stir until the flour and the paprika are no longer lumpy. Very nice. Nice and smooth. Pardon my reach, guys. Gonna put my soup back on the burner. Yeah, that's a bit hot. Careful. And I'm gonna add this to our soup. You can smell the paprika, it smells lovely. Now guys, I said in the intro that there's variations on this soup. And if you want to make this more rosy colored, more paprika, by all means, go ahead and add some paprika at the very beginning. However, this is how I had it in Macedonia and this is how I like it. And I'm showing you this recipe. It's a nice, just a nice rosy color. Not too dark. Alright, so I'm going to let the flour and the paprika cook and simmer a little bit in this pot. And then I'll bring you back and show you one last addition. Alright guys, our soup is pretty much done here. I've let it simmer for a few minutes after I added the flour and the paprika. It just gives it some body. And the last element, and this is optional, but we had this in Macedonia this way and it was amazing. I have some finely minced dill. Smells so good. It really helps this soup. Dill and cabbage really go well together, guys. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to turn the heat off and we're going to serve it up. Well, here we are, my friends. Our Zelka Supa, our cabbage soup, is all done. Guys, I mentioned there's variations to this recipe, probably as much as there are cooks in Macedonia. You can add meat to this. At the beginning, brown it off, add your vegetables. That's an option. As I mentioned earlier, you can add more paprika to make this much more red. But this is how I had it in El Shani, and it was absolutely really beautiful. You can make this as thick as you want, as thin as you want. It's up to you. You have the recipe. You can tweak it to what you like. All right, and again, dill optional. All right, let's have a taste. Obviously, with some nice crusty bread, this would be great. That is so nice. Cabbage is so good for you guys. And really the dill, it just aids this along. What can I say? Guys, try this. It's a great autumn recipe. It'll feed a crowd. It's good for you, and it's hearty. Guys, thank you so much for watching this episode of Memories of Macedonia here at the Euro Cooking Canuck. There'll be a few pics to follow. My social media will be down below. And if you haven't joined me and subscribed, I'd love to welcome you. Hit the bell. You'll see all the notifications when I upload a new video. Until we meet again, guys, be good to yourself and be good to each other. Follow Nogo, Ajde, prijetno, Ajde, ciao.